Hey everyone, and welcome back to your Unit 2 English Fluency lesson. We are on lesson number 4, which is all about giving instructions. And I have an update. I was right about the Bali thing. If you watched the last lesson, you'll know that joke. It wasn't really a joke. I was worried. I was really, really worried. And I grabbed my phone and looked right afterwards. So uh, yay, I was right. Awesome. Okay, cool. Back to the lesson. Giving instructions, very, very, very important. And it's also not part of your simple basic patterns. It's something that's more involved, right? It's something that we have to understand what we're doing so that we can communicate effectively to the listener and instruct them on something. So let's take a look at our very first sentence. I went with computers for this lesson because it seems like something that's task oriented and much easier for you to understand the process. Okay. So let's take a look at our very first sentence, which is first, turn on the computer. I find that some of these sentences remind me of when I would help my grandma or or even my mom sometimes with tech stuff. So let's blend this together, right? We have a comma after first, which means stop. Okay. We pause a little bit, right? So first, turn. You hear that N on turn vibrating? And then on has a vibration through it. So that's right. They connect. Turn on, turn on the, turn on the. That doesn't really match the same vibration. So it separates. Turn on the computer. Turn on the computer. First, turn on the computer. So repeat after me. First, turn on the computer. Okay, so don't look at the person doing that because it makes them feel stupid, okay? So just try and be really calm about it, even if it's the most simple instruction. First, turn on the computer. Actually, there was a little bit of condescending tone in my voice when I just said that too. So, I'm gonna have a hard time with this one. First, turn on the computer. Maybe because it's such a simple step, it's almost difficult for you not to be condescending with it, but try not to be, okay? Try to be more friendly about it. Don't first turn on the computer, try not to do that because it's really insulting in a way. Now, let's not really add any detail to this one yet. Let's move on to our next one, okay? Which would be the next step. Next, open the document. Open the document. You notice how we're giving clear information like what's first, what's second, right? We're saying this, then this. Exactly. Giving instructions requires this. So let's blend this all out. Next, stop, right? Next, right? Not the, open the. You see how my face crunched up for the? Because in order to make that E sound, you have to go up like this. So first open the what? Open the document. Open the document. Next, open the document. Repeat after me. Next, open the document. Next, open the document. We could add a detail onto this one very easily, right? Next, open the document titled energy drinks, right? Next, open the document titled energy drinks. So repeat after me. Next, open the document titled energy drinks. That was much easier not to sound condescending, right? It was much easier to sound neutral and informative and helpful, because there was a lot more information that we didn't get hung up on. Turn on the computer. Is it plugged in? These kind of things, they seem so simple. It's hard to explain it without a little bit of in your voice where it's like, really? You sure? Try and throw all that out. We don't want to have any of that. Okay. So next, open the document titled Energy Drinks. Okay, cool. That was easy. Let's move on to our third sentence, which is then. So it's the next step, right? Then click on the file. Then click on the file. So let's smooth that out. Then click on the file. Click con. We're going to blend that K into the on. Con the file, right? Click on the file. Click on the file. I had something funny I was going to say, but no. This is serious, Chris. Then click on the file. Repeat after me. Then click on the file. Then click on the file. So if we borrow that detail from before, find that or open the document titled Energy Drinks. We say then click on the file. Let's erase Bali from my thing here. Then click on the file titled or named. We already said titled. So let's say named. I always have a hard time coming up with these details like this. I'm looking around in my laboratory here. What do I have? Okay, so we have a rocket over there named Model Rocket Design. There. Then click on the file not titled. Then click on the file named Model Rocket Design. We can add that extra detail there, right? So named Model Rocket Design. No blend. Why? Because it's a name. It'd be really weird if you blended your friend's name when you said it. Okay? Unless they like that as a nickname, but not for this. When we're giving instructions, we want to enunciate very, very, very clearly. That way people have no misidentification. They didn't mishear you. Nothing. Very, very clear, right? Then click on the file named Model Rocket Design. So repeat after me. Then click on the file named Model Rocket Design. There it is, right? All right, let's take a look at our fourth sentence, which is after that. We don't always have to go first, second, third, fourth, lastly. Oh, God, I hate lastly. It sounds so weird. I don't know a single person in all the years I've been alive say the word lastly, other than someone who's a second language learner. And it's just so weird. It's not wrong. It's weird, though, right? It's just weird. After that, save your work. After that, save your work. So let's blend this all together. After that, stop. After that, save your. We connect those two words. Save your work. Save your work. Save your work. Okay? So repeat after me. After that, save your work. After that, save your work. Now, we could be more specific with this, like save your work where? Okay, so let's say save your work to the D drive. Save your work to the D drive, right? Because you put a flash drive in or something, it comes up as C is your main drive, D, maybe, unless it always has been for my computers, okay? So maybe yours is different. I don't know. But let's add this. We'll give a specific location. Save your work to the D drive. So let's blend this, right? Save your work to the. Save your work to the. Save your work to the. There you go. Save your work to the D drive. Enunciate. Save your work to the D drive. Repeat after me. After that, save your work to the D drive. After that, save your work to the F drive. Could be any drive, right? But we could say that. Cool. Let's move on to our fifth sentence. I feel like this is a faster lesson. And I'm just making it longer by chatting. Sorry. Our fifth sentence is finally. See? No lastly. No. No, we don't do this. Finally, shut down the computer when you're done. Finally, shut down the computer when you're done. I never turn off my computer. Maybe like once a month, I just restart it. Is that bad? All right, let's blend this down. Finally, stop, right? Shut down, shut down, shut down the, shut down the, shut down the computer. Shut down the computer when you're done. When you're done. When you're done. Shut down the computer when you're done. Shut down the computer when you're done. Repeat after me. Finally, shut down the computer when you're done. Finally, shut down the computer when you're done. There you go. Or we could change shut down the computer. We could say close the program. Finally, close the program. Yeah. Finally, close the program when you're done. That makes more sense because I would never shut down my computer. Let's try this one. Close the program. Close the program. Finally, close the program when you're done. Repeat after me. Finally, close the program when you're done. There you go. That makes more sense. I would never shut down my computer. Our sixth sentence is a complete set of instructions. Are you ready? This is going to be probably one of our hardest sentences to date from level 1 or level 2. Here we go. First, log in, then check your emails, and finally, reply to any important messages. Nice, right? I can't do the thing that the guy in the meme does, but this is going to be a good one. But you see what we did? In the very beginning, we just said first and then next. After that, you could essentially put all of those together into one long sentence, which I think we'll do after we practice this one. But let's do this first. First, log in, blended, log in, comma. So we stop. Then check your emails. Then check your emails. Then check your emails. Then check your emails. Stop. And finally, no D. And finally, that sounds better. And finally, stop. Reply to any, like the number 20, right? 20. Reply to any important, you hear all the sounds, right? Important messages. Reply to any important messages. Reply to any important messages. Let's put it all together. Repeat after me. First, log in, then check your emails, and finally, reply to any important Oops. Okay. Again, repeat after me. First, log in, then check your emails, and finally, reply to any important messages. Even native speakers make mistakes too. It's hard to read and speak at the same time. Let's try it again, okay? First, log in, then check your emails, and finally, reply to any important messages. I kind of shortened important into a shorter word. Did you catch it? Important. Right? Important. It only worked because the sentence was so long. If it was a shorter sentence, we would enunciate important messages. But when it's really long like this, we're just trying to get it done. So reply to any important messages. Cool. Let's put all of our previous sentences together. So I'm going to scroll through this one. First, this will be our bonus, okay? 7th sentence. Bonus. First, turn on the computer. Next, open the document. Then click on the file. Does that even make sense? Let's change it. Open the folder. There we go. Next, open the folder. Then click on the file. After that, save your work. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can put most of these together. Let's try it. Let's try it together. Ready? So first, turn on the computer. Next, open the folder. Then click on the file. After that, save your work. And finally, shut down the computer when you're done. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. If I can remember all that. Ready? So repeat after me. First, turn on the computer. Next, open the folder. Then, click on the file. After that, save your work. And finally, shut down the computer when you're done. Okay, let's try it one more time. Ready? First, turn on the computer. Next, open the folder. Then, click on the file. After that, save your work. And finally, shut down the computer when you're done. Did you get it? Did you get all of it? I'll admit I erased part where I made the mistake. Because I made a mistake too. But don't worry, if you made a mistake, it's okay. That was a really long thing. Almost a paragraph, right? But I think you did good. I think you did well, you know? We always say I think you did good, but that's poor grammar, I guess. Oopsie. Now, our lesson number 5, get all my fingers out here, is going to be about expressing preferences. Now, this one's a really good one. Like, how do you prefer to do something? What do you like? It's more than just saying, I like this, okay? It's more about like feelings and emotions tied to it, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. If I made some silly mistake, let me know. I'll see if I catch anything, but you never know, right? I'm doing this kind of like on the fly here with my tablet instead of my computer today, so it's a little weird. I will see you for the next lesson, all about expressing preferences. I would prefer to see you there. And I hope you had a good time today. I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.